And number two, I'm gonna call this one Baby Daddy Delilah. Right? She, Baby Daddy Delilah is always on the hunt. She go into the park, looking for the single dads, seeing who's playing with the kids, or seeing who's on the sidewalk.
5,
4,
3,
2.
1.
It's your boy, SOSO Truth. We in the building, and welcome to another episode of the My 5 Cents podcast. Let me go ahead and introduce the cast of characters to my that way. We got HLS.
Mitchell Last up in the building. What's up, everybody?
What's going on, man?
Oh, I'm ready for this. I'm ready for tonight.
Oh God, here we go. I know what I'm ready for. Some consistency. I'm ready for some consistency. Into my that way, we got the logical genius.
Yo, what's up, everyone? The logical one is in the building. I don't know what HLS is talking about. He's ready for what? Another L? Like, I don't know. You're constantly ready for the L's. I don't know. I don't get it. But hey, as long as you're ready for it, we'll give it to you.
Yes. And once again, welcome to another episode of the My 5 Cents podcast, the best kept secret in podcasting, the only podcast that brings on a guest and turns them into a ruling judge. And I want to introduce our guest today. Our guest captured the world's attention as the magnetic single mom from North Carolina on HBO Max and TLC's breakout series, MILF Manor. While viewers initially tuned in for the glitz and the drama, what they discovered was the heart and strength of a woman who redefined what it means to show up authentically. Often seen as the classic sexy mom next door, our guest has since peeled back the layers to reveal her deep truth, a journey filled with both challenges and triumphs. Whether she's inspiring single parents, empowering women to own their stories, or reminding us all to embrace the chaos of life with grace and humor, our guest stands as a powerful voice of connection, courage, and compassion. Please welcome to the My 5 Cents podcast, Lannette West. Welcome.
What's up, Lannette?
Thank you. That was a great intro. Hats off to you. Thank you very much.
It wasn't impressive. It's your intro, so
it is. Yeah, it's you. So, I
didn't write it.
but in a way, through your life's journey, you did.
Yeah.
So let me kick you off with the icebreaker.
Sure.
Lannette, what is your superpower and how has it assisted you in your journey?
My superpower, of which for many years I thought was not a superpower, I thought it was an affliction, is my ability to read people's energy, and I feel them before I know them.
Okay.
And I've learned now to understand how people make me feel like is very informative and very helpful. And once I understood like which ones to stay away from and which ones to gravitate toward, it's been definitely a superpower for me.
Oh man, that's a big one. I'm really big on the energy reading as well. Like I'm a very big energy person. If your energy isn't right, to the left, like I don't even want to be like anywhere near it. Speaking of energy, this is a question that has come up in the family before, and it comes to about reality dating shows. So you are on MILF Manor, and I've always wondered, like, is this thing just totally staged, or is there like really like this love connection that happens like during that time frame? So staged or not?
I would say about 25% of it is staged. I wouldn't say staged. I would say guided, perhaps. You know what I mean? Because the producers, they never tell you what to say or what to do. They just provide sort of stimulus, and stimuli. So, hey, Lannette, I think your boy is in the realty room with Rebecca. You might want to go check that out. I don't know. And then immediately I'm like, what the hell's going on? And so I go in and I give a real reaction. No one told me what to say. It was, I didn't know what was going on until I saw it. And then once I saw it, I was upset. And then they get that. So that's kind of how it's staged, in that they do solicit some reactions, but the reactions are yours.
That's an interesting question, because HLS and I recently was in Atlanta for a wedding, and we were taking an Uber from the airport, and the Uber driver shout out to Tori, who's mad cool.
Mhm.
He worked in the television industry, worked on a lot of reality shows.
Mhm.
And he was telling us like the behind the scenes stuff with like some of the things that Lannette just mentioned, that it's not necessarily scripted, but they kind of guide you in a direction, right? And kind of like to your example, and that was like an instigator, like, hey, are you watching out for this? Or hey, did you see that? And kind of like driving the process. So it's interesting because oftentimes you see like in post interview shows or post season shows where they're like, yeah, it didn't really happen that way. I wasn't, kind of how they edited it made me look a certain way. Did you feel that way about you, like your persona and how you were presented on the show? Like, did you feel like, this wasn't really me, this isn't who I am? And I felt like the by way of editing or the show producers, that they didn't really genuinely display who I am as an individual, as a person.
Well, I can only speak for me. I have
Sure.
opinions about how some of the other folks were portrayed, but they were very kind to me because
Okay.
there were some things that I said that were kind of fucked up that didn't make the cut.
Okay.
Thankfully. In fact, there were some things that I actually called the producers in post-production and said, you cannot put that on the air. Like, because I said the name of my company that I work for. And that was something that I could not do for
Sure.
confidential reasons. So, yeah, but I thought they did a great job. I think they wanted me to be a very sympathetic character. So they didn't really air a lot of my shitty comments. You know what I mean? And so they kind of kept me polite and nice and likable. Now, I like to think that in general, I am kind of like that.
That's what I was about to say. Wait, so you're not that?
But again, they were kind to me. But also remember, I was aware that there were cameras there. I was probably on my best behavior most of the time.
Understood.
You know,
Being a mom and dating, what do you find the differences between dating with kids and dating without children?
well, I mean, I'm assuming without children, you mean now that they're grown and they're not really like a force to be reckoned with, right? Yeah. I mean, logistically, it was hard because like I separated from my ex-husband several times before I actually finally left him 20 years in. So there was a time in 2009 when my daughter was like 2.5 and my son was 12, and we had broken up and we were doing the 50-50 thing. And yeah, I mean, it's just logistically difficult when you're on your own to manage that. And a lot of times I think women are like, fuck it, we're not dating. We're not dealing with that. Maybe I'll slip you in at night, after the kids go to sleep. I'll sneak you in, we can chill out for a little bit and then you can go home. But as far as like formalized dating, like going out to dinner, first of all, you're so tired all the time. Who's got the energy to make all that effort? But it's definitely more difficult. And now it's funny. It's now I've got all the freedom in the world. I don't really want to date. Like I have no interest in dating, So I don't know. Maybe I just like being alone.
So with that being said, one of the things that comes up as a red flag for me in with dating women is if they've never gone through their wild child phase, right? Like if you haven't done that, then
that's a big thing for Phil Joe.
Yeah, it's big. Like then it's like, oh man, you're either gonna do it while you're with me and break my little heart, or you're gonna do something like that. For you, do you think it's important for women to go through that wild child phase before they find their guy?
Yeah, let's clarify really what that wild child phase encompasses, right? In my opinion, it's a sexual freedom and exploration. That's really what it is, right?
Yes.
It's like she's just going to go out there and be a hoe, and that's fine. There's no judgment associated with that. Absolutely. Even if she does do it or doesn't do it in her 20s, doesn't matter, honey, because when she gets to her mid 40s, she's going to do it all over again. So either get ready and buckle up or let her go, because those hormones, those perimenopausal hormones, drive a woman's libido and sexuality through the roof. Now, for me, my time gauge may not be accurate because I had a hysterectomy, so I went into menopause early. So I was doing this until like my early to mid 40s, up to maybe about 48. So the timing can fluctuate, is what I'm saying. But in the 40s, it's going to happen again because it's going to be the next level of understanding her freedom and her body and her sexuality.
I keep hearing about this premenopause thing. I didn't realize it was a thing until more and more people saying it, and I'm like,
It's real.
huh,
It's real.
it is real.
Now, I will qualify this by saying my period was perhaps exacerbated by the fact that I was doing a shit ton of cocaine.
Oh,
So
Okay.
that was a
Cocaine is a
little
hell of a drug.
problematic, right? But I've done enough, conversations and stuff with other women around that age, and it is pretty common. I won't say every woman, but there's something about those hormones that rage in the 40s, and it's just, I think it's your body's like last ditch effort to like get pregnant and have babies.
Mhm.
So it's
Oh.
like your body starts, that's when you're more likely to have multiples too. So your body is like kicking up the hormones, like, let's make this happen, let's do it. And you feel it.
wow.
So is this why you kind of wanted to do this reality show? Because I mean the concept of it's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
And MILF Manor, and for those who don't know the show, right, it's the concept that you have older women who are looking for love or looking for interest in younger men. At least in season 1, season 2, there's a twist to it, right?
Mhm.
But is that the reason why you wanted to kind of go after this? And you were like, because it's a very crazy concept, right? And you're kind of putting yourself out there, and like with any reality show, but this concept is really one of a very intriguing dating show. So what drew you to this show? Like, what made you want to do this show?
Until the day before filming started, when we were up in Toronto.
Really?
We were
Do
told the
tell.
show.
Explain that.
Yeah, so I was approached on Facebook through DM by a scout, and I eventually talked to the casting director, realized it was legit, and I was told the name of the show was Northern Love. It was being done for a
the fakey bakey.
major television network, and that it had a very robust budget, and it was called Northern Love. And like our NDAs, all our psyche evals, all of our blood work, everything said Northern Love. And so, but the premise being somewhat similar, they didn't lie on that, because they're like, you're older ladies. They didn't use the word MILF, but you're older ladies dating younger men. You'll be dating older men. You'll be dating like middle-aged men. It's like men of all ages. So I was like, okay, well, I'm cool with that. As long as it's not just kind of me and like a 22-year-old, that's give me some options, right?
Yeah.
And so I was in the hotel sequestered the day before filming started, and a producer came in and said, hey, don't you want to know what show you're on? And I looked at him kind of puzzled, and he was like, you're on MILF Manor, season 2. And I went.
And were you aware of season 1? Were you aware of season 1?
No, I didn't know anybody on it. I had never watched it. I had heard about it because when he said MILF Manor, I immediately was like, oh my God, that's the show where they date each other's sons.
Yeah.
And
yes, because you kept saying that over and over. I'm gonna die if my son comes off that boat.
That's actually my next question. You know, as you can talk about the show and how you're a hoodwink to get on the show, and again, your kids are older now.
Yeah.
Your libido's up there. Can you date someone the same age as your child?
Oh, sure. I could date someone younger than my child. I could date someone older than my child. I could date someone any age. Now, will I? Depends. Because it's not an issue of, chronological order. It's more of a matter of maturity and life experience and what we may or may not have in common. But I've learned, and I used to have the threshold of like my son's age. I would never go below my son's age. Well, as he gets older, that becomes more problematic, right? Now he's 8, and I'm like, wow, that's really like shrinking my pool a lot. But I will say I've met, guys younger than my son, older than my son, and the maturity level was just as varied. So it's really hard to say I would never. Because as soon as you say that, you do it, right?
Yeah.
Does it look good for me to be dating men my son's age? No, I don't think it does. And it probably makes him uncomfortable. But I'm not really dating at all right now. So it's not too much of an issue. But I will say I have dated guys my son's age or just a little bit older.
So speaking of dating and surprises with dating, of course, in the whole process of recruiting you, I found this fun fact about a date that you may have went on or someone you dated. Wheezy F Baby. How did that How did that transpire? And then my follow-up to that piece is, from the show, you seem like you're a tall drink, right? Little Wayne, from what I understand,
little for a reason. Little for a reason.
Yeah, they call him. Well, I don't know about why they call him Little Wayne or not. All right, I know this. You could maybe explain that piece, right? But
not going there.
How was it that you linked up with Weezy, and how was it dating the shorter man?
Yeah, well, I'll be honest, because I am taller, so I've dated or gone out with guys shorter than me in the past, so that's not really that big of a deal. Do I prefer it? I don't know. I mean, again, it's contextual. It depends on the whole package. It's hard to say just I'll never go out with someone shorter. I mean, I dated a guy that was 6'10". You know, like I've dated them all, so it wasn't an issue. I mean, because side by side, I mean, we're about eye level, you know. It wasn't like there was like a dramatic difference. I just didn't wear heels. I just wore flats, because when I wear heels, I'm 6 feet tall, and I didn't think that would be, you know, a good look.
So you consciously avoided wearing heels?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Sure. Well, I do that just because it just makes things a little more comfortable, I think, you know.
Yeah, see eye to eye with Lil Wayne. There we go.
Exactly. You know, be able to communicate, because he's I mean, he's out there. He's a brilliant guy, and not that he's hard to talk to, but his stories are really interesting, and you know, really, he just constantly speaks in poetry, you know. And so it was intriguing. I did a lot more listening than I did talking. Let's put it that way.
So kind of going back, because I want to ask you this, and you kind of alluded to it. Did you have the conversation with your son? Because you said that your son may feel a certain way if you dated someone like his age or younger. You know, going on this show, you eventually told him, right? Maybe not before, maybe after you did the show, or maybe during the show. I don't know what was in the NDA. But what was that conversation like, or have you had that conversation with him yet, and saying, "Hey, listen, mom's gonna have to, you know, I don't discriminate. I may need to go after someone younger or older than you or whatever, you know."
Right.
What was that conversation like, if you had it?
Yeah, I did have. I would describe it as a very brief, concise conversation with him, which basically,
like, "Mom,
I'm your mother, goddammit. Don't tell me I tell you what to do.
This is what's happening. Deal with it."
Well, and I just said, you know, because I talked to both my kids about it, because there was a point where I was like, fuck this, I'm not doing this. This is too much trouble. You know, because I mean, I have a job, I have a career, I have a life, I got a home to take care of. I didn't have time to be running out getting blood tests and doing a 3-hour psych eval. I know I'm crazy. I don't need y'all to tell me that. You know? And so they were both like, oh, you should do it, Mom. Just do it. They're like, how many people have a chance to do it? I mean, it'll be fun. It'll be something to talk about when you're old and you're in the rest home and, you know, you're talking to your friends. You can tell them, hey, I was on a reality show. No one will believe you and no one will care.
Yeah. So, well, there you go. Well, that seems like the perfect transition to the next part of our show. And Logical Genius, please explain to Lannette what is about to happen next.
So, Lannette, we are going to get to the extra fun part of the show. You've established your credibility with the audience and why you are an expert in this particular topic. But before I get there, HLS, what is the topic for today's show?
Why I feel like you guys are putting me on the spot. I paid attention.
You'll be changing the topic mid-recording. That's why.
I paid attention this time. These are 5 misconceptions about being a single mom.
Okay, so that is the topic for tonight's show. And Lannette, what we're going to do, HLS, Social Juve, and I, are going to present to you our top 5 lists of misconceptions that people have about single moms. And you, being the expert that you are, get to decide which one of us has the best list. Simple, right?
Okay, yeah, I can do this. Okay, I'm in.
Now, before you do that, though, as you said, you're on MILF Manor, you have to sign an NDA. There's criteria you have to follow to be on the show.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
For this show, there's none of that.
Nada.
You might choose me because I like to date single moms.
Oh, is this where you're going to make your pitch?
You might choose me because you could actually wear heels going out with me.
You might choose me because I may have direct experience with being with someone who's a single mom.
Okay.
Whatever you decide is completely up to you. However, you need to make a decision now. You need to choose who goes first.
Oh, how about logical genius. You go
Oh,
first. Yeah. Yeah.
ooh.
Mm-hmm.
First is usually a good sign for me.
Grab a
First is
pillow,
first.
Lynette. You're gonna be
Yes, yes,
you're
yes.
gonna be
Get
lulled to sleep.
ready to go to sleep.
Nope. See, this is already the hate because they're already intimidated by the list. Because what they're gonna do is take their pen and scratch. Like, damn it, I can't use this. Damn it, I can't use this. So, Lynette, you picked the best person to go first. So,
Okay.
when I said you might pick me because have experience with being with someone. When I say being with someone, meaning that my mother became a single mother at an early, late part in her life. So my parents got divorced. She didn't grow up raising me as a single mother. She became a single mother after my parents got divorced when I was going into my teenage years. And we had three of us, three brothers, or four, I should say, four siblings. My older brother was already moved out, and she had three older teenage kids to deal with, which was hectic for her. She was an immigrant mother, lived in this country, came in her 30s, and ended up raising teenage boys essentially by herself. My father was in the picture, but not really in the picture, right? So I can't believe I'm saying this because I don't want to know if this is true or not. But at number 5, you kind of talked about this. I think the misconception is that single moms don't have sex. Like the last time they got it on was with their baby daddy, and that was it. And you know what? Don't ask me questions about my mother. Do not, earmuffs. Do not ask me the question. I don't know. I don't want to know, but I know that's a big myth that people have out there. At number 4, on the side of relationships and sex, I guess that single moms are looking to steal other women's husbands or spouses. Like that's a misconception. No one's out there that they're desperate to find somebody else to replace the daddy or the husband or whatever, the ex. That is totally not true. At number 3, single moms are looking for a handout or they're on welfare. That is not true. They're a very big myth. There are a lot of single mothers out there, very independent and very capable of providing for themselves financially. Does everyone need help every now and then? Of course. But are they begging for help or seeking help all the time? Not at all. Not at all. At number 2, a big misconception is that it's their fault that they're a single mother. This is not true. Yes, people make choices and mistakes in their lives, but to assume that a person is single or a single mom is there is because it's her doing that. Oh, there's a reason why she's single, right? There's a reason why there's no man around. That's completely false, and that's a big myth. Is that true in some instances? Maybe, but for the most part, no, not true. And at number 1, and this is truly dear to me because of what I said earlier, and my mother being, a single mom at a very late part in her life, dealing with teenage boys, is that they are incapable of raising children on their own. My mother, I believe, did an excellent job of raising her boys. We're all successful for the most part, some more successful than others. I like to think I'm on top of the success ladder, right? So she did an amazing job given the hand that she was dealt in terms of making sure that we were okay. We always had 3 meals a day, right? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and she was working multiple jobs. On the weekends, we always had like a big breakfast. She always got up to do that. She always did it like chores or whatever, even though she yelled at us for like, you guys need to help. Damn it. And teenage boys do not listen. Looking back and like, damn, we were assholes back then. But now we love her and take care of her as much as possible. So that is number 1 for me. And Lynette, that is my list.
That's going to be a tough act to follow.
Thank you. Who do you want to hear from next?
So Juve, is that how I say it? So Juve?
Of course, in the building. You said it perfectly. And I can't wait to get into my 5 cents on the top 5 myths about single moms. And at number 5, I have that the kid of the single mom is baggage. You have these kids, they're baby kids, they're badass kids, and they're just going to be baggage that's just going to be holding the relationship down. At number 4, that they're damaged goods. There's something wrong with them. They're cray-cray.
Yeah.
It's just no good. That's a common misconception that is totally false. At number 3, the single mom is only dating you because they want to find a father for their kid. The kid already has a father. They're not looking for another father. They're looking for someone to connect with. Totally false. At number 2, the single mom is dried up. Now, I've dealt with some. I've dealt with some single moms, and I've had a mouthful. That's all I can say right there. I've had a mouthful.
Oh my gosh.
And at number 1, they did it for the money. And the reason why I have that as number 1 is, fun fact, only 43.5% of people or custodial parents actually get the full amount of custody or child support. And that's why that's number 1. And that's my list on the top 5 myths about single moms. And up next, you have HLS, who's going to give you a list about, I don't know what, but good luck in trying to decipher it. That's it.
Listen, Lannette, listen. It's me and you now. You can quiet all the noise. Focus right here.
Okay.
So here's my 5 cents about the biggest myths of single moms. And I'm coming from society's view. And in this day and culture, society always wants to label somebody, always wants to call people names. So in that same manner, my 5 have names. At number 5, I have male role model Madeline. There's this false preconception that she's a single mom because she had no positive male role models in her life. And even worse, her kids won't have any positive male role models.
You can't even say it.
You know what? Listen, it's been a long day. I had a couple of drinks. Don't mind me. I'm getting it out. But we all know how it is. So that's number 5. Number 4, I'm going to call this one Struggle Bus Bertha. It's a misconception that single moms are always struggling. Some women can do it by themselves. They don't need a man's help. I know a lot of single women, a lot of single moms that they never put their dads on child support. Listen, I got this. And I'm going to do it by myself and not be on the struggle bus because they're just doing it. It's a big misconception that they always need a man's money.
Right.
And number 3, I'm going to call this one Bitter Betty. She's just mad at the world. I got this kid. I can't do this. I can't do that. She's just mad. She's just mad and she's bitter that the relationship didn't work out. That's not always the case. Sometimes it's a blessing that the relationship didn't work out. And number 2, I'm going to call this one Baby Daddy Delilah. Right? Baby Daddy Delilah is always on the hunt. She goes to the park, looking for the single dads, seeing who's playing with the kids or seeing who's on the sidewalk. Like, she's just looking like, oh, that one right there. Oh, he looks like he's going to be a good daddy. It's not always the case. And number 1, I think it's the biggest one overall. I'm going to call this one Unsuccessful Sally. There's a biggest misconception that women cannot raise positive and successful children. Barack Obama, raised by a single woman, president of the United States. Women can do it by themselves. It's not like they need help from a man. They're very successful being parents. And that, Lannette, is my 5 cents on the biggest misconceptions about being a single mom.
So, Lannette, what is going to happen is next week we get into what we call cross-examination, where you get an opportunity to ask us some questions about these lists and we get to poke some holes. So until then, this is our 5 cents. See you guys next week. Peace.